Okay, so you can see a little handiwork in the garage with the bench grinder and the die grinder. And we're starting to make some progress here. I gotta truth things up here, but I think it might have been Humphrey Bogart in The African Queen who said, "We've gone too far, there's no turning back," or something along those lines. I'm not sure if that's a quote from the movie or not, but wherever I heard it, it applies here. We've gone too far. There's no turning back now. So we must press forward. So little by little, things are starting to come together. So we'll see how this does here. As you can see, I cut some little channels here. I'll throw this up as a sneak peek for anyone who's been following along, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And then I'll have a whole video that shows kind of how it turns out and some report back on how it actually functions. So keep your fingers crossed. Oh, and speaking of fingers, in case you were wondering what happens when your finger and a die grinder carbide bit get in a fight, well, your finger loses. This is about 3 days of super gluing my finger back on, but it was a real close call. I was actually working on some baseboards for the house, not this, but I had a carbide bit on my die grinder, walked down the edge and off the back and across my finger. I thought for a moment that I had cut the tendon, and I actually had to check to see if my finger was going to start sliding off. But I dumped some super glue in there, and 3 days in, I'm back in business. But just a reminder to everybody out there working, be super careful, because the die grinder does not care whether it's cutting aluminum or your bones. And as I might have mentioned in one of my other videos, I had a buddy who flicked a chip off of a mill, and it filleted down his finger, something terrible. So my friend Melanie was asking me the other day, she's like, "Shouldn't you be wearing gloves?" And I said, man, gloves are just an accident waiting for happen. So I usually work with no gloves, but just a reminder to everybody out there, you do have to be careful. Okay, back to work on this little guy. Full video will be coming probably in another maybe a week or so.